この美しい風景もそばに誰もいない以上、私の普遍を引き立たせるだけ。浮世の風景は幾千年も変わらないというのに、人の世とはこうも白露と泡のように儚い。
なんだ、最近はどこも仕事が多いって話なのに、俺んとこには全然来ねえ。ぴったりな場所だと思いません？
研究は確かに将来性がありますね。
ここは冒険者たちが活躍するのにぴったりな場所だと思いません？なんだ、最近はどこも仕事が多いって話なのに、俺んとこには全然来ねえ。
この研究は確かに将来性がありますね。
この美しい風景もそばに誰もいない以上、私の普遍を引き立たせるだけ。
せいよっとはっそれよっ。
障害物クリア。スキャン。
ほっはっよっせいほっよっと。
よし。
つれづれなるままにひくらし、すずりに向かいて。
神というのは天上の存在だが、たまには地上を歩き回るべきだな。
家に閉じこもってばかりいないで、もっと出歩くんだ。
探索に挑戦。冒険者の生活はどうやら性に合っているようだ。
えい。 。 。 。 。 。 。。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。
ん？
。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。
ん？
「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 「」 "」 「」 "」 「"
Why? Why would you swap to him? He's obviously shit. Navia is so much better. Yeah, just be Navia. And also, honestly, this dude is so fucking slow, you should really stop changing characters. Because you're gonna change his character, then he's gonna change his character, and then he's gonna be like, oh wait, no, he changed his character back, oh god, gotta swap back. I'm like, dude, just... When you have someone who's that indecisive, like, I'm glad they're at least thinking about changing their character to try to match the party. Like, all people should do this, like, that's what you should do in co-op. But, generally, it should be a little faster than that. Oh, she doesn't have her signature weapon. Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say, like, geez. I was gonna say, like, oh man, like, I need your help.
逃げ道はありません。てっはっ。
海を泳ぐ魚でさえ進む先を決められるように、生きとし生ける者の意志は全て尊重されるべきです。君に捧げよう。八重堂は兵学の仕組みについて深く解説した本を多く出版しているので、とても気に入っています。
Honestly, like, you have a Furina, you don't really need a shielder at all, but, okay. Like, you can heal, like, and we have a Kokomi, too, so, like, having a shielder is so fucking useless.
つく。やっ。
震えてるじゃない。極寒のせい？それとも恐怖？どりゃどりゃ、風が立つの。撃て今だ。
さあ働きなさい。じゃあ行くよ。
どよめく進学。
手加減なしよ。土にめよう。契約を果たせストラリ。
石煙に葬られよ。
痛みよ、あんたにも。消え失せろ。救済はいらないの。
この同点も同点についてのご質問でしたらいつでもお聞きく。
いや、
無事手紙が届いたようだな。彼は目が覚めたばかりだ。
心配するな。
旅人とパイモン？気を失った時のことを思い出したよ。今は大丈夫。
大丈夫だぞ。気
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if them forgetting him is part of the method that they have to break his fate, right? Although, I was thinking they were forgetting, like, Durin as a whole, right? Like, the Durin on Dragon's Spine as well. But it seems like they could remember that one, just not remember him. Which does kind of suck, obviously. I was thinking that maybe they were going to forget Durin, like, the concept of Durin completely, and then now his fate is clean, type thing. But we'll see.
すごくみんなに忘れられているって気づいたとき、僕の今の体にはもともとアビスの力が封印されてる。だからかな。つながりが途絶えると。
Which of course is a stupid thing, right? I mean, it's dumb when you're, like, confident in yourself, but obviously I can understand why this could happen. Because, like, he is brand new, right? So most people would be like, oh, well, who I am as a person is completely separate from other people's perception of me, right? Like, other people not recognizing me, other people's perception of me doesn't affect who I am as a person, right? Oftentimes it's a reflection of who you are as a person, but, like, you shouldn't let other people's perception dictate who you are, basically, at its core. And so it's like, so if I went around and then everyone forgot about me, I wouldn't give a shit. I mean, it would suck, obviously. Like, it would suck if all your closest friends and family no longer recognize you. And I would feel sad, sure. But, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't affect who I am as a person. He was like, because he doesn't really know who he is, he is using other people's perception of him to kind of, like, fill in those gaps. So he's like, yes, he's trying to define who he is himself using other people as a barometer. And now when other people don't recognize him, he's like, oh shit, I don't know who I am anymore. Which, most people wouldn't have, well, actually, I don't know, let's say most people. There are definitely a lot of insecure people out there. And, like, it's understandable for him, too, because he's a fresh-born person. His sense of self was never really super established. And then the very fact that he's also, like, basically a reincarnated evil dragon Durin is also kind of a tough thing for him, too, because, he wants to separate himself from that old identity, but it's inexorably linked to who he is as well. So it's like, you want to be able to separate yourself, but you also can't just completely reject it because that is part of who you are.
その後みんなの僕を呼ぶ声が聞こえて、いや、
体とのつながりを失った。
アルベドの
急にたくさんの人がお前のことを忘れ、それならアリスに聞くしかないな。噂をしてたら高く立ちはだかる城壁を越えて物語の枝を、魔法使いは世界で最も大きな木を探し求めて物語の世界を後にしました。高い高い木の上に身を置く場所を求め、手の中の枝を、さあそこへ向かいなさい。この枝をかすめた最初の風が待つ地へ。新しいヒントだな。物語はまだ終わりじゃなかったのか。
街から出る。一つ気になったんだけど、この物語がでも、だったらなんで魔女へも。確かにそうだな。アリスとも連絡が取れない今、直接調査。今回の謎のヒントは何を指してるんだろうな。世界で最も高く大きな木。それならコーヒーが美味しくて読み切れないほどの本。当たり。
Oh, Sumer. I was gonna say, like, is it the Mondstadt tree, the base of the mountain? I guess the Sumerian tree is pretty much the biggest one. And then there's also that fake tree in the desert area, but I think obviously Sumer's tree is bigger.
そうだな。オイラもそれじゃあまずはジン団長。
Yeah, I mean, obviously the story's not out. You know, the story is about like story isn't complete until it's not just him escaping. Now, obviously, they could have wrapped it up there. He escaped, lived and he made a ton of friends, lived happily ever after. You could have ended there. I mean, realistically, after overcoming any sort of trial, you could just end it there and say yes, and he lived happily ever after.
この間のことは本当にごめんなさい。
君を責めてるわけじゃない。ここにいるみんなもそういうつもりは。
心配？
ついてきてくれ。君が目覚めたと聞いて。みんな物語の本を完成させようとしてるんですってね。失われた記憶。
やっぱりリサ先生は僕の疑問にうまく答え戻るまで待ってて。お母さんが残した。
ここに来るまではモンドの図書館と同じように本を探すだけだと思ってたけど、ここの本って言っても
どこ？
今回のヒント自体あまりはっきりしてないんだな。この図書館にも変なことが起きてないか確認してみようぜ。
It's weird though too. It's like this is where he felt the first breath of wind, but it's like, dude, we literally went inside the tree. Like, how the fuck are we gonna feel wind inside? Presumably it's Layla, right? Oh no, it's him.
図書館のリストではこのシリーズの第5巻は貸し出しされていないのですわ。もともとお貸ししていない本を
なら今あるバージョンには欠けた部分が多い。
どうかご理解ください。図書館は厳格な管理で成り。
Isn't he part of I think he's part of one of the branches now. You know, I think because he mentioned in the actual character, not the in the actual Archon quest of this patch. He said he was. I mean, he said he was part of one of the. I forget which one of the schools he's part of, but basically, I think it's the same school he was when we did that Sumeru event like a few years ago. I'm pretty sure he was indoctrinated into a school at that point, and then they're just like, yeah, he's still part of that. Oh, I see. So, what better way to have a tale of redemption than seeing someone else who overcome his evil actions of the past?
遊学者がここにいることの何がおかしい？
この前などくらいで会ったばかりなのに、急にまた
戻って処理することがあってね。ちょっとした理由で消えてしまった資料、これからやろうとしてることを考えて、そっちこそどうしてカサッチどういう意味だ？また悪化した。
何か知ってるのか？
ドゥリンがシムランカを離れたばかりの頃、その途中資料を整理していたら偶然シムランカのドゥリンと書くと、その文字、つまりドゥリンに関する記載はすべてモンドの雪。
どうやってそんなこと？
カサッチはシムランカでの出来事がすごく気に入った。そんなことはどうだっていい。君はこの世界の地脈の影響を
I
受
see.
けないんだ。
So he's not connected to the Ermin soul, and that's why he keeps disappearing. Wait, wouldn't that mean that any written record of us would also disappear? Or did we? I don't know. Like, supposedly we are unique. We aren't connected to the Irmin Soul. That's why we were able to do what we did. But I'm actually kind of curious. With all the shit we've done, are we still not connected? Or did helping Nahida at that time? Because like we saw the Irmin Soul, we did cleanse the corruption on the Irmin Soul. Did that connect us at all, or are we still isolated from it?
彼は僕とは違う。最初は記録に影響を及ぼす程度だったものが、今や。
I mean, it does make sense, right? Like, Durin the Dragon did exist. So let's beg the question that if Durin the Dragon did exist, like the evil dragon Durin existed, does that mean that Rhine Daughter corrupted an already existing dragon? But if she did create life, then why would... If she did create life, then how did she connect it to the Irmin Soul? Or is it because she's connected to the Irmin Soul? Actually, no, because then the witches recreated Durin, and... Yeah, who knows? It could be that... It could be that to try to separate Durin's fate from evil Durin, they maybe had to not have him connected to the Irmin Soul, because then he would be... that connection might have corrupted him, perhaps.
先生かい？それって、何を心配してくれているのか。そんなことより、今は解決方法だ。あの魔女は、自分の子供のことをかなり気にかけていたようだな。こんな本まで用意するなんて、君たちが探している答えも、もちろんオイラたちもそう思ったぞ。ふむ。ちょっと本に隠された秘密に少し興味があるだ。もちろん。
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's not even red tape. You're going to the wrong spot, right? The library is a place to house the books. Like, if you want to make an update to one of their books, you wouldn't just go to a random librarian. You'd go to the department and head of the in charge of the library and be like, hey, I found more supplementary documentation for one of your books. I'd like to have this reviewed and have it updated. It's like the equivalent of like going to a McDonald's employees and then trying to suggest better ways to cook something or prepare something for their food. It's like, dude, they're just a cashier at McDonald's. Like, maybe telling them how to improve their recipe is not like this is not the place and person to speak to. It was about him? Oh, I see. It's the memory where he found it. I got it. It's a memory where he had his first sense of wind, and he might have felt it while he was traveling around with the Wanderer.
野良猫に誘われて竜の子は塔を出て外の世界を旅したのでした。竜の子は外の世界が大好きになり、もっとたくさんの友達を作って竜としての自分の物語をみんなに話したいと思いました。野良猫はこの物語を気に入り書き残そうとしました。しかしその時、野良猫は気づきました。この物語はどう書いても悪霊の物語になってしまうことに。
Oh, it's the Irmin Soul, probably. Actually, it might not be, but...
この章は僕がテイワットに来たばかりの頃の話だと思う。この章を開く思い出がカサッチのとこにあったのも納得だ。あの頃はいつも一緒だったから。ちょっと待て。カサッチもこの物語のキャラクターになったからじゃないかな。僕のこと 野良猫だと思ってるのか。
ありがたく思うべきだぞ。物語に出てきた他の仲間たちはこんなに
カサッチとは一緒にいた時間が長いから。はっきり。じゃあなんで旅人たちはいつもと変わらないんだ。
旅人の方がもっとはっきりした印象を残
ふーん。
みんな、今日の冒険を。
物語の中のデュリンだ。
Oh, okay. I thought Durin actually just turned into that. But I
この
see.
物語ではドゥリン、それとも君たち二人はもっと特殊な役割だとでも。
野良猫さん、今日はどこに行く？
昔みたいに。
じゃあおしゃべりしてもいい？
勝手にしろ。
初めて会った時からこういう感じだったのか？
そうだよ。それで一体どうすれば。
今までの感じからすると
物語のつる草は集まり、天にも届く大樹。竜の子はここを離れ、居場所を探さなければなりません。
ここを出る。
竜の子は途方に暮れてしまいました。しかし幸い、道の先に
Oh, I see. It's Barberloff.
迷子に。
竜の子は導いてくれるものに出会いましたが、
予言の魔法使い。
わしは予言の魔法使い。お前たちを導く。ごめんって。迷えるチビ竜よ。約束
Ah,
の
damn.
贈り物を届けに
I might have to watch the video. I'm curious.
とある予言さ。
Like old hag. I mean, I assume it's Baba, right? I assume in Japanese she said Baba, which is like, okay. It's not exactly like old hag, but it's fine, right? It's basically the same. I'm just kind of curious if they did that. It's very. I'm pretty sure 90% sure it's that. Problem is I can't hear the voices while I'm on my treadmill. So
予言？
わしはこんな予言をした。町の外にいる竜は
風はこの予言を携えて彼方へと吹き抜け、竜の子に行くべき方。
確かあのモンドの錬金術師はこの世でも。どうしてそれ。
予言の魔法使い。
okay. Yeah. So I was thinking that chapter 4 would be about that Archon quest, where because I mean, because Durin obviously heavily featured into that because it was his power that was corrupting, that had corrupted the shapeshifter, and the shapeshifter was the one who was causing issues and got Albedo framed. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, then in that case, obviously it's related to Durin.
返事はありませんでした。
But I did not expect the people to forget him. I just assumed it was going to just be a retelling of what happened, and then him just saying, okay, this is what I want to do. So it is interesting that he has a little more, there's a little more depth to it.
予言の魔法使いはお母さんの友達だ。
なら試してみるか。まずは
返事はありませんでした。風は吹きましたが、
Oh, interesting. That one, I think it was -4 just a second ago. I think it just went down to -2.
そこは霧に包まれた道。どこへ続いているのか、竜の子にも先は見えません。
この道を進めば当初の計画通り、今のところこれが一番。
ああ、 悪竜の復活を阻止して新しい体を手に入れ、そして友人は皆彼を忘れる。
うん。でも
とにかく結果から見ればこの選択肢、
あ、それは
反対はしない。ただ
もう少し
I mean, you say this, but there's only one path. It's just forward, right? Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, it branched and we had another option, but it's like, no, it's just going forward.
見てほしいんだ。あそこでならすごいことを成し遂げられるし、新しい友達もたくさん作れるから。
本当？それじゃあ一緒に行こ
う。物語を残せないまま竜の子は道に迷ってしまいました。しかし幸い、とある預言者が彼を導く予言を残してくれていました。風はこの予言を携えて彼方へと吹き抜け、竜の子に行くべき方向を示しました。竜の子は風の導きを受け、囚われていた場所から脱出しました。預言者も彼の選択を認め、おまけにとある秘密を教えてくれました。
お前が決心したというのなら、わしも約束通り運命の企みを聞かせてやろう。はるか昔、皇天の神は物語という名の魔法を外の世界にかけた。この魔法はとても強大で、人と人との出会いや関係を支配していた。ほとんど揺るがされず変えることもできないものだ。誰もが自分にとっての物語をただ一つだけ持っていて、物語の結末もすでに皇天の上に書かれていた。お前の物語と悪竜の物語は実は同じ物語の2つの可能性である。物語の魔法はこれを認めない。塔の外にはお前の物語を残すことはできないのさ。そこにはすでに悪竜の物語が存在しているからね。
最後の言葉。
そうだったのか。
つまり
もう散々見たはずだろ。シムランカのドゥリンと彼らは2つの世界に隔たれても互いに影響し、シムランカのドゥリンがテイワットに来た時、この世界の規則では
I see. So the point is that we have to change. We have to take his. Yeah. I mean, okay. So he's trying to do his own thing, the other existing one. So basically, we have to take that fate and turn it into our own, or wipe out the other faiths so that we can create our own.
じゃあデュリンはどうなるんだ？
あの魔女たちはすでに大胆な返却したい。
以前も申し上げたように、こちらの
じゃあこれをシリーズの第6巻だとみなしてくれればいい。
図書館の目録では確かに
そう考えてもらって構わない。これから
ですね。
And it's also stupid though, because it's like, well, is he even the author? You know, like he could be. You know, he could have been the original author, right? It could be that he was. This is a book series that he was writing in his travels, and you know he added more to Volume 5. He was like, oh yeah, I wrote some more stuff when I was out and about with Durin. But, and of course, this is also kind of stupid because it's like, sure, I understand the bureaucracy of. Oh well, we already have a Volume 5, so we can't do this. But like the whole point is that we can't have an unverified volume. Like they couldn't replace Volume 5 without establishing the veracity of the current one. But simultaneously, you couldn't just accept a new volume anyway as well. You couldn't just be like, oh well, we have a new volume that you like. It's the same thing because by what she's saying before. Oh, we can't just replace Volume 5 with not but your word that this is a better, more accurate version. Like yes, and you can't accept this as Volume 6 with not but your word that this is actually Volume 6, right? Like it's the same problem, that you can't just take some random dude's word and perform an action in this in this library. Now I understand they're just trying to be like, yeah, whatever, like sure, like maybe there's an explicit rule saying you can't accept a book that hasn't been checked out. Fine, sure. Whereas there might be no rule saying you can't accept new works. So sure, you got around one explicit rule saying you can't do this. I think the underlying problem is still the same. We can't take people's words as gospel here, and it has to go through the proper procedure.
この問題を解決する手がかりを得るなら、
アルベドに確認したいのは山々だけど、
出発するときは僕もこの物語のキャラ
驚いてるわけじゃな
この世界から忘れられて
Okay, so I thought the fifth day would be a purely just an epilogue thing, right? I thought like they would have everything resolved. I thought chapter 4 would be like all the Archon quests from before Nodcry appeared. I thought it would be something like that, and then day 5 would purely just be an epilogue of like, and now let's wrap it all up with a tiny bow. But it's like, no, it seems like they actually haven't resolved anything either. The actual resolution is going to be in 5, along with an epilogue. Well, I mean, chapter 5 as well as wrapping it up, the conclusion of the story and the wrap up.
今はそんなことどうでもいい。それはただのそれも悪くない。この世界の地脈に拒絶された今、ドゥリンとそのつながりさえも断たれてしまったら、僕も君と同じ。
Oh, I see. So I was thinking he was just having a personal crisis, right? I thought he was just having an identity crisis, where he was like, I don't know who I am anymore, and that uncertainty allowed the repressed abyss energy to explode out of him. I thought it was purely just a mental thing, but what they're saying is that the only reason he has any control over this body is because people recognize him as the owner of it, right? So basically, if his connection to this world gets weaker, then the original Durin's fate might be able to take back that body, might be able to use that body. So like while his fate is constantly being wiped from the world, the original Durin's fate is there, and this is a Durin, so that fate might take control again, the fate of an evil dragon. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I thought it was purely just an identity crisis, where it's like, oh, he needs a strong will to retain control of his body, but it also is, his control over his body is based on people's recognition. So he has to be recognized by people who have a connection to this world for him to also have a connection to this world and have control over his body. Interesting.
カサッチがそう言うならこれ以上は
は
簡単な質問に対しても複雑に
助けると言ったん無駄口を叩くのはよせ
Okay, so this should be...
もし物語
Yeah, wait for news for albeit. Okay, yeah, so it is still waiting. So I'm curious, because it seems like we're probably going to get that book at the end of this quest. So I'm kind of curious. It'll probably be just the little book series. Like, it'll probably just be a little, like, animated shit on the book. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Let me swap back to my friendship team so I can accept my daily shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna pop in here real quick. So you need to be in here at least 3 days for the week for the login rewards. It's one of those things you can't. I don't think you need. Actually, I think you do kind of need it for the max rewards for the week. I think you can get need. And I keep forgetting because I don't particularly care about this that much. I've never really like the reason why I play games is for the story. Yeah, I enjoy the story of games, and so while this is an interesting mode, it's definitely not what I'm interested in. Right, like it's definitely an interesting mode, and like if you're a child and you don't have money, so you can't buy games, then Genshin's a really good game, right? Because not only can you play the base game for free, right? But even if you're bad at combat, right? Even if you're bad at combat and you don't have good characters to kind of steamroll through content, you could come into here and then just do random mini games, right? Because like this mode is more gameplay over anything else, right? And they have a variety of gameplay types, so you can kind of find something you enjoy, and then play it. But for me, gameplay is fine, right? Like gameplay can't be bad. The game can't be unfun to play. But simultaneously, the reason why I play is for a story or an interesting world and stuff like that, right? Like, because like for me, I'll still play a game with bad gameplay, right? If the story is good enough, because like that's basically what I do for like other games. Like I don't particularly care for action games, right? Like I'm not really a big action game fan. I don't like action combat, but I did play Ghost of Yotei. I'm planning on playing Witcher 3. I played Cyberpunk, you know. Like these are games I typically don't play. Well, I mean Cyberpunk I don't typically play first person shooters too, but I do play the Borderlands series because I like it's a nice co-op game to play with friends, um but yeah, like I'm gonna play Witcher 3, and it's an action combat game, and I'm not really a huge fan of that. But I hear the story is really good. I hear it's a really fun game, so I'm gonna play it for that. And so that's why like I always find it stupid when you get like these people who are like, oh well, yeah, gameplay over everything. And to a degree, they're right. You know, gameplay is important. You can't, the game can't suck to play, right? You can't just design it poorly so that it does not feel fun to play. But I think these people who are like who are rating it so highly are just like insane. You know, like the people who are like, oh, Where Winds Meet is really good, or Wuthering Waves is really good. It's like no, like the only thing, like Wuthering Waves comparison to Genshin, right? Like I've said this before, I've gone multitude of rants about it, but basically, Wuthering Waves does combat better, but everything else is worse. Like everything else about the game is worse than Genshin, with the sole exception of combat. Like Genshin does events better, story better, world building better, exploration better, music better, like everything else is better in Genshin than Wuthering Waves, with the sole exception of combat. Wuthering Waves does combat better. But you get people glazing Wuthering Waves saying, oh my god, the combat, like the game is so great, it's amazing. It beats Genshin hands down. So yeah, because they only care about combat, and they think, oh, you know, being slightly better in gameplay, it just makes everything. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't. Like it's just such an unnoticeable difference, right? Like it's like you can't like obviously Wuthering Waves is about like dodging and counters and parries and stuff like that. You can't parry in Genshin, but you can iframe dodge through things, right? Which is similar to the dodges in Wuthering Waves, except Wuthering Waves is kind of designed around dodging and taking no damage, whereas Genshin's not really. So that there's a little more leeway with that, but you can still, you know, express your skill in Genshin by taking like no damage whatsoever, you know. So there is shit like that, and so, but like, you know, but then eventually I just stopped playing Wuthering Waves because it's like, yeah, all the other things that it does worse, I'm just like, well, I'm just not enjoying it as much because all these other things are just worse, and it's that the reason why I play is all those other things. Gameplay is important to a degree. It has to be better than a certain threshold, but that's it. Because anything beyond that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really change anything. Sure, I might have more fun, but it's not like it's diminishing returns of fun, right? It's like because yeah, sure. Like if the gameplay is twice as good, I might have 10% more fun. Like it's just like it's not a 1-to-1 type thing where it's like, oh, it's gameplay's twice as good, I enjoy the game twice as much. No. It's because gameplay is only just a small fraction of that, and you get some people who are just like so gameplay focused that they just completely ignore all the other faults of their game. And it's like, no, like you gotta understand that they're, you gotta understand that people don't like that shit. But you know, it's from my perspective. Like this is what I like in games. I like a good story. I like it. You know, I like these things in games. Not everyone cares about that shit, right? That's why people like Wuthering Waves and like Where Winds Meet, is because they don't give a shit about the story. Like, like people say, I mean, Where Winds Meet is a very popular game right now, and a lot of people are playing it. People are praising it, saying, "Oh wow, it's such a great free game." I've heard literally no one say that the story is good. I've heard literally no one talk about the story. That's how shitty it is. It's so bad that not even the people who like the game even mention it. You know, at least Wuthering Waves does good scenes, and so that's why, you know, you get idiots basically saying, "Oh, the story is good." It's like, no. Being able to write a really epic, cool scene doesn't make the story good. It makes the story better, but not good. You know, because the problem is their storytelling is bad. Their storytelling, their world building is bad. It's not good at all, and they can just write, and they're basically kind of like able to get away with it because of the epic scenes. People see the epic scenes, are like, wow, this scene is so cool, and then they forget all the boring bullshit that they had to wade through. Like, I was asking, because I stopped right after Cantarella's patch, and like after fighting Cortithia in the Upside Down City. So I don't know how Renacita ended, although I do know that it ended and had this big, epic, cool boss fight and all that shit, right? And I was like, okay, cool, well, now that it's resolved, there should be some answers, right? Like, so I'm kind of curious. I go, well, like, did we ever figure out what happened with Abby, right? Because, like, the whole reason we went to Renacita is because Abby wasn't feeling well. Abby was lethargic and not as active as he was. And the only reason we went to Renacita is because they know about creatures like Abby, because like all their tacit discords are floating about, and they might know something more about it. And so I asked, you know, some of my friends asked them, like, hey, you know, did they ever discuss this? And one person said they didn't remember at all. Another person was like, I can't remember, but I think they did. And it's just like, wow. So basically, the entire purpose of our visit to Renacita was completely ignored, or just hand-waved away, so that it's not even at all memorable. It's like, dude, this is like literally the reason why we're there, and you don't explain that. Like, that's bad storytelling. You bring us there for a certain reason. At the end of the story, when like obviously like we got there and it was all about Sentinel and Thornelian and all that shit. Like that became the main antagonist of that like those quest series, right? Of that country, Renacita, that was like the main overarching arc of it. But like at the end of it, you should wrap up all the loose ends you had. Like like something that's, I mean, and it's so easy to say it, right? It could be that that the Thronodian in Renacida was becoming more active and gaining in power, and that resonated with the Thronodian power that Abby had eaten. And so when we beat the Thronodian that was attached to Cratithia, that and subdued it, that it was no longer causing problems. It could be like see how easy it is to write something like that. It's so fucking easy. And so like the fact that they can't do that, the bare minimum, and like there's been multiple instances where like I come up with like one-liners that could easily just kind of explain things, and an alternate way of telling the story that would just not introduce the plot holes that they keep introducing. It's just like stuff like that, and it's just like and so Where Winds Meet doesn't even have that. There's not even the story glazers of Where Winds Meet, because the story is just that forgettable and bad. Everything about it is the only thing about that's good about the game is its combat. And you get the glazers who are like, oh well, yeah, the gameplay's fun, and I spent hundreds of hours in that game. It's like, yeah, because the game is designed to make you waste hundreds of hours. The whole point of that game is to waste hundreds of hours grinding random bullshit, which is fine if you like that. Like I play Borderlands, I've done my weapon grinds, I've done my loot grinds to get all this shit. I get it. It's not like I don't get this shit. I don't get what the appeal of it, but I'm not going to say like Borderlands is the best game in the world. It's an enjoyable game for what it is, and that's what it is. Like same for Where Winds Meet. It's enjoyable for what it is, but it's not a good game. But you get people who are like, oh no, it's an 8 or a 9. It's like, dude, it's no way in hell it's an 8 or a 9. No. Combat alone does not make a game. But yeah, it's these people who are like combat or gameplay above everything. It's like, no. Like, if you want to say that the gameplay of this game is a 10, that's fine. But like, even with a 10 out of 10 gameplay, with all the other aspects it fails in, it would drag it down way below. Like that's why when people IGN gave it a 6, people are like, IGN sucks. Because it's basically anytime IGN gives a score that doesn't perfectly align with what you do, what you like, everyone just shits on them. And it's like, dude, I think actually 6 out of 10 is probably pretty accurate. It's because while the gameplay might be good, all other aspects of the game are subpar, which just drags it down. Because they're evaluating everything the game has to offer, and generally when you play a game that has content you just don't care about, you don't play it. And so your opinion of the game is not lowered because of the shit you don't like. But when you're actually doing a game review, I think you should actually review every aspect of the game. Like, here's all the things that the game attempted to do, and let's rate how well they did each one of those things, and then give an overall score for all those things. Like, it would be kind of cool if they broke down each score, so it's like, oh, it's a 6 out of 10, and then they like broke down into like the various aspects of it, like story, gameplay, music, visuals, stuff like that. Like that would probably go a long way to curbing some of the hate. But regardless, people are still going to bitch and moan and say, "Oh, well, it's not the score I would give it. Therefore, you're wrong and stupid." But what can you do? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.